Wait, you guys are gonna see my drive. I don't want you to see that. There's secret D&D stuff on there. Okay, there we go. That's better. I'm gonna close my door and let's fucking get it. Alright, let's get it. The United States, the world's biggest terrorist organization. Dude, come on. I feel like if I right click it should take me back a page. Table of contents. We're gonna do a little fact, just a little fackington. We're gonna look at what are we gonna count as a war crime? Because there's things that are crimes and there's things that happen during war and there's war crimes. So you know what makes a war crime different? And then we're gonna go through and chronologically review just like a timeline of like some of the heaviest hitters vis-a-vis war crimes. So this is kind of a somber. I'm gonna turn the audio down a little bit. This is not like a. I'm going minimum jokes here out of respect for the victims. It's just gonna be info and hopefully everyone can learn a little something. Alright, fact. But do I hate all soldiers? No, I don't hate all soldiers. Here are some soldiers that I like. Soldiers who fought for the Union in the Civil War. Soldiers who fought against the Axis powers in World War II. That's kind of it. World War I was kind of a scam war where honestly nothing was ventured and or gained. It was kind of just like the people in power settling their beef, you know, with their citizens as collateral or as bargaining chips. It was, in my understanding, it was not really a war of principle. It was a war of just like tangled alliances. And I honestly don't think that World War I really accomplished anything. And you can really tell that it didn't accomplish anything because there was another one like 20 years later. And World War II, you know, accomplished some things. Like killing Hitler. And, you know, temporarily halting the rise of fascism. But I don't really know what World War I did otherwise than just like brutalize like millions of lives. And so, I guess I don't hate the soldiers from World War I. But they weren't really fighting for a good cause, I guess. I don't have beef with the World War I soldiers, I'm gonna be honest. But I think that World War I was kind of stupid. Unless there's something that I don't know, there's a good chance that I just haven't learned some crucial part of World War I because the American education system has failed. None of the stuff in this slideshow are you going to be taught in any like high school or lower history class. You're definitely never going to see references to them in pop culture. And basically, you're not going to see references to this stuff in anything except for something that is like outright critical of the government. If the government has any part in it, they're not going to talk about this stuff. But here's a good one. But it was a different time then. Yeah, it was still rude. Slavery was still fucked up in the 1600s. People still knew that slavery sucked. People didn't like getting conquered by Alexander the Great. Like, no one ever likes war. If you like war, then something's wrong with you. I'm sure that everyone would like to just chill and have a good time. It doesn't matter what time period you lived in. I'm pretty sure we can construct like a base of like human morality, pretty much regardless of time period. We could talk about that at a different time, I guess, but for now, I'm gonna open my window because the air is good. Whoa. Oh, give me that fresh air. I love that for me. Okay. What is crime? Crime, we usually think of as a legal aspect. Like, oh, you stole from a store, that's a crime because the law says not to. But I want you guys to think about crime on more of a moral thing. So instead of saying, oh, you stole from a store, that's a crime, think about, think about Les Mis. You guys seen Les Mis? Jean Valjean steals that bread because his family's going to starve if he doesn't get him food. I don't think that that's a crime. I don't think it's a crime to want your family to have food. If he was living in a functioning society, he wouldn't have had to steal that bread. If your crime can be erased by just like improving your material conditions, then it honestly isn't really that criminal. So crime is just kind of a label that people in power can like put on any act that goes against their needs, pretty much. Like, think about loitering. Like, the only thing that loitering hurts is like business owners who want like higher turnover in their like restaurants or whatever. No one actually like gives a shit if you're just standing there. Like, you're just vibing. So crime is just like an artificial. Crime is basically an artificial category. Now let's get to the history of war crime. Oh, okay, so there's war crime for war etiquette, and for a while there was no such thing as a war crime. There were just kind of like rules to war. Like, do you remember back in the day? Yeah, anti-homeless architecture. That's a really good example of like sleeping on a public bench isn't really a crime. It's just like, I don't like homeless people, so I don't want them to sleep here. Like, that's literally all it is. Yeah, so war etiquette is more just like how war is fought. It's like in the Revolutionary War, people just kind of like stood across from each other and fired muskets. Those were like the rules of war. And people broke them sometimes, but they would always get shit on for them, but there was no like international committee. So then the Hague Conventions was signed in like the 1890s or something, to make some rules, and then the Geneva Convention was signed, I think, after the First World War, and then edited a little bit with after the Second World War. And we go off of the Geneva Convention today, and it's basically legislated by the International Criminal Court, which is basically just like a judiciary body that's ran in conjunction with the UN. The UN is a whole other bucket of crabs that honestly I could probably get into in a different TED Talk, because I got beef with the UN, and especially the World Bank. Shout out to Thomas Sankara, the GOAT. War crimes examples: attacking and killing medics. You're not supposed to kill, healers. It's fucked up. Because they're not really fighting, they're just kind of there to make sure no one gets hurt that bad. Attacking non-military infrastructure. You're only supposed to attack other people's militaries. You're only supposed to fight within, like, the fighting realm. You're not supposed to bring fighting to, like, places that aren't ready for it, pretty much. Attacking or killing non-combatants. This one is kind of tied in with medics, but it counts for all civilians, even if they're, or no matter, like, if they're not involved in the war effort at all, they're non-combatants. Medics are technically combatants, I think. I'm not exactly sure, but they are present for war, but they don't really do offense. They just kind of do defense, if that makes sense. And use of chemical and biological weapons. This is a new one. Oh, Sam, you've made a good connection, Sam. Yeah, so use of chemical and biological weapons is a newer one. I think it was in the first Geneva Convention after all the mustard gas and stuff from World War One, which was the worst. Sound familiar? The United States have done literally all of these things against their own citizens, and they do them all the time. They attacked medics. They attack infrastructure. They attack non-combatants. And they use chemical weapons. The United States police force, even though it's a police force, commits war crimes regularly. But the US just doesn't prosecute them, just because, basically. So these things are undoubtedly criminal, but they just aren't prosecuted because it's with the will of the government. And you might be thinking, how are the police getting all this high-grade military equipment? What's going on with all that business? Why aren't they the police? Shouldn't they have, like, squad cars? Shouldn't they just have, like, squad cars and some, like, shitty pistols or something? Hold on. I need to check my notes just to make sure I get the right act. Okay, here it is. It was Bill Clinton. It was fucking William Clinton. He made a Department of Defense program called the 1033 program, and it sent, I'm quoting here, over $7 billion worth of excess military equipment to more than 8,000 local law enforcement agencies. It was created in order to fight the war on drugs, which, as you should know, is a whole completely different scam that also I could probably talk about. What else do we got? Oh, and guess what? The Obama administration restricted the program, but only after the Ferguson uprising in 2014. So they didn't have any problem with it until it was public, basically. Until there was a national uprising or a national uproar about it. And then when Trump got in office, he lifted them. So it went back to basically how it was. So what's interesting for you to notice here is that, one, it was a Democrat. It was Bill Clinton who enacted this. Two, Obama lifted the restrictions, but only because he was under pressure. He could have done it as soon as he got into office, but he only lifted them after he was pressured to do so. And third, Trump did a bad guy move and lifted the restrictions, but really he was just restoring what Clinton had built. So Trump has the Venn diagram of Trump and Bill Clinton's policies is so close to just being one circle. And I want you guys to recognize this, that all of our American political system is actually just in one tiny circle on the right of center. And Democrats are left of Republicans, but overall in the entire spectrum of political opinion, they're still right. They're still more right-wing than left. Preface. Okay, so there's a reporting bias of war crimes. People don't report war crimes because they don't want to be, tried for them, or they don't want to be implicated in them, or they don't want to be beat up for them. If you reported a war crime on your buddy in Afghanistan or whatever, there's no guarantee that he wouldn't just also kill you. So it's for your own safety also. If maybe I don't perpetrate a war crime, but my squad mate did, I'm not going to report him because he might kill me. I don't know of any confirmed cases where that happens, but that sounds like a very logical thing that could have happened. There's also an ethical bias where people do stuff and they just don't think it's a war crime, so they just don't talk about it like it is. But then we go back to it, in the future, and we're oh, well, that was definitely the worst thing that we could have done. Non-standard definitions, so things that aren't necessarily a war crime, but are still super immoral, super fucked up to do. But they might not be they might not be talked about in the same circles as war crimes, but they're still, super fucked up, super terrible thing to do. And the historical inaccuracies, which is just, kind of everything else. Just misrecordings of stuff. 19th century, the Mexican-American War. So this is American-occupied Mexico on the Texas border. And Americans just kind of get bored, and they just terrorize the citizens of Mexico. Eventually, the people of Mexico get pissed, and they form gangs and groups to basically stop getting destroyed by the occupying force, and they eventually kill a soldier. The U.S. Army responds by kidnapping and executing 24 civilians. Very normal thing to do. Zachary Taylor holds no one accountable. He just goes, our bad, and moves on. By the end of the war, there were over 10,000 civilians estimated dead. So that's 10,000 war crimes. Killing one civilian is a war crime. And they did it 10,000 times. And no one was ever tried. No one was ever hanged. No one was ever held accountable. Those are 10,000 lives just gone. With no consequence. To the perpetrators. Oh, occupation of the Philippines is really bad. This doesn't get taught a lot. I feel the time between 1880 and 1910 is super undertaught in history classes. Yeah, Sam. If you live in Texas or close to Mexico or North Mexico, South Texas, there's a good chance that some of your family was mixed up in all that. I should say, if you live there and your family's from there. If you just moved to South Texas, you're You get it. Okay, so the occupation of the Philippines is undertaught. I honestly don't have a lot of my knowledge on here is not as good as some of the other stuff, but I'm going to try and do my best. I'm probably going to miss something, so I'd love for you guys to just do some of your own research on this, kind of get a clearer picture. So basically, after the Spanish-American War, Spanish and American War basically started because America was like fucking around in Mexico and all that, and then Spain was like, you know what, dude, like we're in charge of Mexico, and then America was like, and you know that was the whole thing. And so the Philippines was like a concession for the peace treaty. So America occupied the Philippines for a while. And then they did this thing called the March Across Samar. They were trying to get across this whole island here. And basically they were doing like a Sherman's March to the Sea. They were just going to scorched earth it. Just completely destroy it because they said that like... What did they say? They said that like any boy over 10 was going to be considered a combatant because they thought that Filipino people were just like savages because they were racist. Because America's the worst. So they did that, and there's this other thing called the Morro Crater Massacre, in which there were some like stragglers from this March Across Samar that had like escaped their original village, and they were living in this giant volcanic crater and just kind of vibing and like planting crops in there and stuff. And so the occupying force shows up, the American army shows up, they set up machine guns on the rim of the crater to fire down into the crater and kill 99% of the people, and there was like 1,000 people in that crater. They called it, hold on, the Americans called it the Battle of Bud Dejo, but I don't think there were any American casualties. It's not really a battle, kind of just a massacre. There's 1,000 more war crimes right there. Then there was Wounded Knee. Wounded Knee is kind of disputed because apparently there was like a deaf Native American at Wounded Knee, and he didn't hear the order to drop his weapon, and so you know he didn't give up his weapon, and so like tensions were high, and then apparently some guys like popped out of some cloth or something and fired. All that is very skeptical. I'm very skeptical that happened because I know that the United States will do pretty much anything in their power to erase like their atrocities. So I'm very skeptical of that. And even if that did happen, it doesn't justify an 85% casualty rate for like the 400 men, women, and children that were at Wounded Knee. And most U.S. casualties are often listed to promote that it's a battle and not just like an execution. Yeah, definitely winner's bias. That's a good thing to remember when talking about this kind of stuff. I'm sure those dudes who lived on the Native American side would probably have a way different accounting. Yeah, so they had they set up machine guns again outside of the camp, and they were just like blasting through like all of their shit basically, and they just shot like a bunch of Americans in the crossfire that were like running into the camp, which is ridiculous. And 20 soldiers were granted the Medal of Honor for basically the execution of like 350 innocent people. And they've never been rescinded. Those people still have their medals. Now we get to the 20th century where things get a little more confusing. There's a little more at stake. There's a little more at play. Oh, we're not there yet. Okay, so there's reports of POW executions at Meuse Argonne, which is like a POW camp that was held by Americans, I'm pretty sure. I think it was in France. I'm not super sure. It could have been Austria or something. I forget. The location's not that important, but basically, you're not supposed to kill prisoners. It's like, that's like a rule, is you keep prisoners, and then when you surrender, you give them back. Or when someone surrenders, you give them back. But they just killed them. The American soldiers just killed like all of the German people because they had just like been so propagandized, and all of the stuff that they'd seen through the course of the war just made them so heated they just killed them, just executed like hundreds of people. I don't know about hundreds because it's really hard to get like a concrete estimate because no one wants to own up to a war crime, so it's all just kind of conjecture. Then we get to the Pacific Theater in World War II. The U.S. has attacked multiple lifeboats and rescue vessels. So this is like a naval warfare etiquette thing. Ships sink all the time, but people usually survive them because they have lifeboats or whatever. And you're not supposed to spray down lifeboats. You're not supposed to attack lifeboats or rescue vessels, because it's kind of like dudes that have already surrendered. Like, they're not going to win the battle. They're not going to win the battle because they don't have a ship anymore. So it's kind of rude to just keep attacking them. It's a little more than rude. It's literally a war crime. I shouldn't say it's rude. That's kind of lowballing it. So they did that on the Japanese vessel Buyo Maru and at the Battle of Bismarck Sea. U.S. refused to take Japanese prisoners of war because basically the same reason as Musa Gone, because they just didn't think they were like human. They thought they were subhuman and just like weren't worthy of keeping prisoner. You know, racism again. The rape of Okinawa. After the Battle of Okinawa, there was like, the numbers are staggering. I'm not mentioning a lot of the numbers on these because, first of all, it's a lot of numbers to remember, and secondly, it's just like so staggering when you like actually look it up. So I'd recommend looking all this stuff up on your own if you're interested, to get a better picture. But I think it was something like 3,000 women that were assaulted, and those are just the ones that are still alive to, you know, bring it up. The ones that aren't too scared to keep it quiet, you know. So when talking about stuff like this, the numbers are always lowballed. Always assume that it's more. Here's a big one. Here's a really, really big one. Is the atomic bombing. A lot of warhawks and imperialist heads will try to tell you that the war wasn't won yet, but it was. And even if the war was still going on, there's no excuse to bomb those two towns. Those two towns have no military value, and they pretty much just did it as like a big dick move to scare the Soviets and like kickstart the Cold War. They basically just made an example out of like 200,000 people, just like as a power play, which is like ridiculous. It's disgusting. Then we get to the European theater, the Rhine Meadow camps. This is in France. Yeah, it was done to make the biggest impact. They just knew that those like were pretty densely populated cities. They were like, okay, well, what's the most amount of people we can kill without it being like a natural disaster level, like calamity? They literally just like, what I hate. It's so fucking annoying, so disgusting. I have to live in this country. So at the Rhine Meadow camps, instead of labeling their POWs as POWs, they were called disarmed enemy forces. So here's what happens a lot in this kind of history and with the history of the United States is they'll legislate a group. So a group will be created, and that group will be given protection, and then they'll just legislate a new group and be like, oh, well, these people aren't actually in this group. These people are in this group, and we don't have any laws against this. We could do whatever we want to these people. And then, you know, people are like, oh, well, technically they're right. You guys could do whatever. So that happens here with disarmed enemy forces. It's what happened in the Philippines, with like, I forget what the rule was, but basically they just like assumed that anyone over 10, any male over 10 was like fair game pretty much, which is ridiculous. Then there were 3 separate massacres. I believe the first 2 were in, the second 2 were in Italy, and the first one I don't remember. But these are all pretty much the same boat. It wasn't, I don't think it was naval, but it was just like killing POWs. These ones are definitely lesser known. There was not a lot of information about these on Wikipedia. This is just, honestly, these are all super light analyses of all these. You could probably write like entire essays about each one of these things that I'm saying, because they're so like such monumental events in history. But I kind of want to just package them all together as like the whole, so you see just the volume, and I need the volume to be staggering to you, and I need the volume to like make my true message hit home, which is later. If the Germans had won, I would have been on trial at Nuremberg instead of them, and this is an American general. That's what you were talking about earlier, Sam. It's winner's bias. Um, the victors write history. What is that? History is written by the victors. So, yeah. Then there's the Korean War. The Korean War, basically a scam war. It was much like the Vietnamese War, where Korea skewed like communist because China and Russia were next to it, and America didn't really like that, so they just started a proxy war with North versus South Korea. That is still going on today, and it's still, disenfranchising like many Korean people, which is super cool. Thank you, America. Vietnam War. The whole thing was basically a war crime because of the guerrilla tactics used by the Viet Cong. America pretty much designated anyone as a combatant and pretty much just bombed the whole country. There was My Lai, which is a really big one. There was continuous bombing from 1964 to 1973. That's 9 years of Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam under 3 separate presidents. It might have been 2. I think it was 3 separate presidents on both sides of the party line. Yes, Sam. Agent Orange, which was an herbicide. It was not technically a chemical weapon. It was an herbicide. It was just supposed to kill trees so we could see where the Viet Cong was. Still a chemical weapon, still caused birth defects, still has lingering effects in the country. The Gulf War. There was another bombing campaign where they just targeted, fuck all instead of military infrastructure. And the coalition, I think, was like the UK, the US, Saudi Arabia, France. I forget who else. But, the heavy hitters, the Security Council type people. And also Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia does a lot of fucked up stuff. A lot of stuff that goes down in the Middle East has Saudi Arabia as like a proxy for the United States. Like in the Gulf War and right now in Yemen. Oh, Yemen is another war crime that's going on like right now. I should talk about Yemen. You know what? Someone just look up Yemen. I didn't do the research. I don't want to say anything wrong. Highway of Death was basically like a retreating camp or retreating like enemy force was driving down this road, and basically we just like pulled up on them and just strafed the whole road with like bombs and air fire and just no good stuff. The War on Terror is a big one. The War on Terror is another example of like a disarmed enemy force. It's about legislating away people's rights. The unlawful combatant. So here's why I was talking about war etiquette earlier. The Bush administration did all these things. The Bush administration legitimized torture, basically extradition, and the unlawful combatant rule in order to basically have the license to kill whoever they wanted whenever they wanted. The unlawful combatant rule is that since these people are terrorists and they're not acting under a state, they don't actually have the rights that an army would or that like a properly fighting force would. So we're just going to do whatever. And the thing about terrorism is that it's faceless. So you can apply the label of terrorism to pretty much anyone if you have, the right pieces or if you say the right things. Which, is what Joe Biden and Donald Trump are doing to Antifa as we speak. So do not let Antifa become labeled terrorists, because then if you are designated as Antifa, you are a terrorist, which means you have no rights. So this is how the American system works. You pick a group of people that you don't like, you call them a name, and then you make sure that people who are called that name don't have rights, so you can get rid of them. There's a Haditha massacre, which I should look up. I made this presentation a while ago. I'm sorry. I should have boned up on my stuff before this. But it's another massacre. I'm pretty sure they were killing civilians in that one. Continued. Drone strikes. Mr. Obama added again. Drone strikes are a big part of the unlawful combatant rule, and Obama added a new fun thing where you can be declared a combatant posthumously, which means after you die. So Obama could drone strike anyone in the world and go, you know what? I think that they were a combatant. And then people would just be like, okay. Okay, and here's some other fun things that I didn't put in the list, but are definitely, definitely related. Abu Ghraib is a war prison. Guantanamo Bay, another war prison on Cuban territory, which is fucked up. MK Ultra, which was a series of experiments on the American populace. Same with the Tuskegee syphilis experiment. Sanctions, I think, are war crimes, just like in Yemen, because they're meant to target a country or a state, but they end up only hurting like the people. U.S. police actions, like how Vietnam was called a police action, but it is a war. Like, come on. U.S.-backed regime changes. There's been at least like 50 attempts, maybe not successful, but 50 attempts to just get a guy that likes the U.S. in power. Every time a country shows up and they have someone in power, or they get someone in power that is like even vaguely socialist, the U.S. will do their darndest to kill them, get them out of office, or delegitimize their presidency or their leadership to undermine them. They refused to admit Jewish refugees during the Holocaust because of their bullshit immigration quotas, and they refused to join World War II until their own interests were threatened, like 3 years late. There's also the Battle of Blair Mountain, in which the U.S. used air force against its own citizens, which were striking coal miners in West Virginia. There was the Rodney King riots in the 90s in L.A. There's Ferguson 2014, and there's the George Floyd uprisings, which, as far as I know, are still going on today. Takeaways. Here's what you need to learn from all these war crimes. The U.S. government will do anything it wants to gain strategic advantage in its mission. If what it wants is illegal, immoral, or unethical, they'll do it anyway and then try to hide it. When people learn about it, they'll claim it didn't happen, or they'll try and legitimize it. So they'll be like, you know what? It wasn't actually that bad that we used Agent Orange because it was an herbicide. It was totally cool. What is the American mission? Global capitalist hegemony. They just want everyone to do shit their way. America is just a big bully. And it's my way or the highway. And if you don't do it my way, I'm gonna get rid of you. Everyone knows this except for Americans. It is so clear to anyone in any country that America has targeted that America is like a menace. And that's really just like the most pure word to describe it. America is just a menace. A specter of malice that hangs over the world and has poisoned humanity. The ethics of enlisting. What about the poor people who couldn't enlist? Or who couldn't do anything but enlist because, they pay for your college? Here's the thing. The middle class is overrepresented among recruits, and they define middle class as $41,000 or up. There's so many people in America who make $30,000 or less, even $20,000 a year. And the middle class is 65%. No, that doesn't seem right. 64. Yeah, it's 64%. But honestly, I'd say that all of these are middle class. I'd say that like 30,000 to 120,000 is all middle class. So honestly, this Office of the Undersecretary of Defense, this is probably a bad graph. This is probably a shit graphic because their definition of middle class is 41,000 to 87,000, which is like lower middle class. 87,000 to like 200,000 is still middle class. Yeah, exactly. You could work a minimum wage job for 40 hours a week all year and make like $24,000. I'll do the math right now on stream. Okay, so let's say you have no vacation time. You work 40 hours at the federal minimum wage, which I think is like $7.50. Let's Google it. Federal minimum wage. $7.25. Okay, so 40 hours a week times 52 weeks is this many hours times this much dollars per hours is $15,000. And that is minimum wage. So that's, let's say that working minimum wage all year is the very bottom of minimum class, of middle class. $15,000 a year. And that's provided you get a 40-hour work week, which a lot of minimum wage jobs won't even give you, so people have to pick up 2 jobs. But yeah, this is a terrible graph, honestly. I should have known that I was getting a graph from the Office of the Undersecretary of Defense. But even their graph agrees with me. Their graph blows and it still agrees with me. They can try and skew the data as hard as they want, but it still agrees with me. That's how ridiculous this is. They definitely had other options. Here's something else that's really interesting. I want you to look at this graph for a second and tell me what you can think about it. The pink is white people, the yellow is black people, the blue is Asian people, and the gray is any race who's not in those. Yeah, true. And a lot of people work in food service. I want someone to tell me what's wrong with this picture. I know what's wrong with it, but I'm gonna give you like a minute to figure out what's wrong with it. Also, so I can have a water break. Okay, any bright ideas? Chat now or forever hold your peace. Alright, I'm gonna hit it. I'm gonna hit it up. White people are overrepresented in officers, but they're underrepresented in general service. Look at this. So white people in the this is the US. Yeah. This is the US. 78% of all people are white. 70% of people who are age 18 to 64, 78% of those people are white. Only like maybe 70%, maybe like 68% of enlisted people are white. But once you get to officers, it's more like 79% of people who are white, which is overrepresentation. And in general officers, it's like 85, 86%. So basically they have non-white people, you know, non-white people don't get promoted, which is ridiculous. Even in a racist organization, they still uphold like racist practices. Even though the job of the US Army is to do racism, they still do it on themselves, regardless of like whatever. Acknowledgements. Thank you to everybody who tried to stop this shit from happening. If you're someone and you protest about this stuff, if you just try and change the culture of it, enlisted people are disproportionately black. Yeah. Let's look at that again. Look at this chunk of yellow in the population, and look at this chunk of yellow here. It's way bigger. Oh, thank you. Please fight against this stuff. I'm teaching this in the hopes that you will go out and teach someone that you know. Because we really need public opinion to be correct on this. That's the only way that we're going to change, is we have to change public opinion. The US propaganda machine is so gargantuan and is so well funded that we need to take concrete steps to dismantle it. And I think that's one of the things that we absolutely have to do in order to fight for a better world, is disable the American propaganda machine. And we have dark acknowledgements. Henry Kissinger, all American presidents, especially Nixon, Reagan, Obama, and the Bushes, and the majority of American enlisted soldiers. Fuck you. You're the worst. I hate you. This world would be better off without you. I would have rather have you flipped burgers. You would have done more for society flipping burgers than going to Afghanistan to protect my freedom. How did my freedom get all the way over there? I don't know. Fuck you, though. Don't join the army. There's better options out there. I'd rather beg on the street than join the army. If I join the army, if I get drafted, I'm dodging as hard as I can. Oh, that's another caveat. If you got drafted and you had to go, that's a more like, it's a stickier situation. The ethics aren't as clear. It's a nuanced situation. There's people who got drafted and they did their best to not help the war effort and, like killed their commanding officer or just fucked up operations, and I respect those people. But there's still people who got drafted and said, you know what, this isn't so bad. And then they just, went along with it just cause. And so there's nuance within, the position of a drafted soldier. Just like there's nuance with everything. So you just really, you need to look. You need to think critically. Yeah, fuck America. America sucks. It's the fucking worst. Does anyone have any questions? I can't believe the minimum wage is still $7.25. That's ridiculous. That's interesting that federal contract workers get $10.80 an hour. If you work for the government, you get $10 an hour. But if you don't work for the government, you only get $7. That's very interesting. Let's look up what the congressional hourly wage is. I know, I need to know like what the congressman himself gets paid. Okay, hold on. How much does a US congressman? Yeah. Ah! Wow, this is very interesting. Senators and representatives make $174,000 a year. Which, let's do the calculation, let's do the math. Let's see what that comes out hourly. Let's assume that they work the same hours as a minimum wage jabroni. They probably work less. They probably work less hours. And we're going to do that, and we're going to do... What are we going to do? We're going to do 174 divided by that, I think. Oh, they make $83 an hour. So, do you guys remember that tweet where it's like, people who make $100 an hour have convinced people that make $20 an hour that the people who make $10 an hour are the problem. Americans always punch down. We need to learn to start punching up. If they're going to punch down at us, we got to punch up at them. And guess what? There's more of us. Let me get this tweet out. Let me get this tweet. Remember when the ants in Bug's Life realized there were more of them, and guess what they did to those crickets? They fucked those crickets up. I'm sorry, Sam, that sucks. That's good that you have a record of it at least. I'm glad it's not erased from history. That's it for today's TED Talk Thursday. I'm probably not going to be streaming until like next week. I'm going to be busy because Alyssa's coming into town. Yeah. But after that, it's stream time. And I've been working. Oh, what's up? You should have just for the end, Nathan. $4, keep the fight going. I'm supposed to hang out with Alyssa. But $4 is $4. You cut the last bit. Nice. Nice clip. Also, when I'm doing TED Talk Thursdays, I would really appreciate if you guys would if you guys clip stuff, because people don't have the patience to watch, 50 minutes of content. So if you guys clip my like good, haters, if I say something good, like I would really appreciate if you clip it, then I could share it, and 'cause people love short videos. People hate long videos. Short videos are the key to success on the internet. And the more success I have, the bigger platform. Thank you, Adrian, for your honesty. Adrian, honestly, you probably know all this stuff, so you don't have to watch it all. And I respect that. When I know stuff, I don't really like to watch about it unless it's super in depth. I might watch the game. I don't think I have any players in it. I'm gonna hang out with Alyssa in a few. Nathan, if you donate $4, I will keep streaming. Alyssa, I'll give you half out of respect because I did say I was gonna hang out with you. Oh, you subbed though? Poggers. You did sub. I respect the game. Adrian, you wanna play Valorant? Oh, that's true. It's September. Congratulations, September. Congratulations, me. Oh yeah, you have Flounder. Yes, thank you. I play some Valorant. Oh, nice. Peace, brother. Thanks for stopping through. Thanks for the Clippington. I don't even know what Clippington this is. Oh, is this my dark acknowledgements? We could do unranked, honestly. I haven't played in a while, so it'd be good to de-rest. Nice. Alright, I'm gonna change pants and take my hat off because it's no longer TED Talk Thursday. Yes, sir. Whoa. Alright. What's up, brother? I have to move all my dice. Do you guys want to see my dice? It's really hard to get a good angle on my dice. I bought all these for my Endymion Pendulum deck, but then it got banned, so I never got to use them in Yu-Gi-Oh! And now I use them for D&D. Ah! One of the D6s and all of the funny dice are a set, and then the other 4 D6s are just kind of a separate set. Oh, hold on. There was this super cool dice that I wanted that was like a light up one. I want to try and find it and show it. It was so sick. That's like half the reason I want to play D&D is because I have fucking... just so I have a need for dice. I really appreciate dice design. I don't remember if I bookmarked it on Tumblr or on Twitter, which is a problem for me personally.
Can you hear my AC in the back?
Dude, I don't know anything. Okay, I think it's on Twitter.
Bro, I was just playing. What the hell? There's another update.
Yeah, I'm updating right now too.
T and I were literally just playing like 30 minutes ago.
Dang, that's fine. Bookmarks. Yes, I found it. Check this shit out.
Let me switch screens. Okay, it's loading.
This shit is so cool, dude.
Oh, that is dope as fuck. What the hell?
I want these so bad, dude. I'm like, these. This is like something that I would never buy for myself, but I might ask for Christmas.
This is actually really dope.
That's so cool. Imagine rolling a nat 20 on that. That'd be so nutso.
Oh, what the fuck? Ah, my eyes.
I definitely make it so rolling a 1 just doesn't light up. That'd be super funny. I can't believe we were playing D&D yesterday, Sam, and our monk crit 1 twice in a row on an unarmed strike. He just totally whiffed. He just missed twice. It was so funny. That shit was so silly, champ.
Let it be known, I hate T. We could have gotten out of prison by not throwing.
Right, you could have just fucking slept him. But you wanted to go meditate in the corner.
And this dude literally threw hands.
Bro, you let Gus walk out. I let everyone set the scene. You had like 3 chances to sleep him before T slid his shit.
No, that's cap.
That's not cap. I was there. I'm the DM.
I know, dude. Literally, I went. And, bro, I went. It was my turn, and I tried to pick up a phone,
You tried to pick up a who?
and then Gus moved, and then I started scheming, and then Jose moved, and I was like, wait, let me go back, and you're like, no, it's T's turn. I was like, all right, I guess I'll wait, and T threw hands. I literally could not stop. And then after
You guys are allowed to like talk to each other. You don't have to. I'm like low gold, high silver.
No, I was talking to him. I was like, dude, don't do it. And then he's like, oh well, too late. I was like, all right, fuck.
There was like T and I were having a whole conversation though. Like you can post, like you can text, you can be like, hey, like T, don't swing on him yet. I got an idea. You can be like, you guys can out of character discuss your plan of action.
Well, to be fair, to be honest with you, I guess it's kind of good T went for that because it's like literally the only strike he hit like at all that day.
Well, yeah, and that should have mad damage. But you guys still missed.
Like 20 times.
You guys still missed the chance to get a stealth encounter because like Aaron and Jose missed their attacks.
Yeah.
And you guys had no weapons and no one was casting spells. You guys were all just punching the shit out of him. You tried to cast Guiding Strike and I think it missed. I think Aaron tried to use her breath weapon and it missed.
I just wanted to burn the whole place down, bro.
Dude, you can't just be fighting random people.
That's what I'm saying.
You were about to slap Merla. Oh, I said she was like asleep in the cage.
I was just fucking wrong. I said, bitch, wants to wake her up. Like, that's different.
Did I fix it? I hope I fixed it. I doubt I did though.
Your title?
No, Sam says my audio was fucked for a second.
Ryan Faces.
Damn. Fake friends.
Oh. Let me pull up the strong. I'm just waiting for the new monitor, waiting for the money to hit so I can do the new PC. You know?
What's up?
I'm waiting for a lot of stuff.
When is that new Phantom skin coming out? That looked cool. The Smite skin.
Which one? Oh, I have no idea. I think it just goes by days, low-key. Because Baby Bay already had it, but I didn't have it. And then the other homie already had it, but I didn't have it. Remember, like the Sakura, it took me like 2.
Oh, this knife is kind of flames.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, the pink and blue is so nutso. Damn. I don't have money though.
Match found.
No, Sam, when I get paid, I'm gonna cop a new mic off Adrian and hopefully that fixes it.
Yeah.
I don't want my stream to be, I just want it to have good audio quality. There's like actually a crazy pack. Stinger, Guardian, Vandal, and Ghost. Those are like hitters. This is that like Arizona green tea color palette. That shit is crazy. Oh, the Chinese is kind of cool. Is that Japanese?
Dude, what language is that?
I think it's Japanese. It's either Japanese or Chinese.
The other one.
I think it's French.
Yeah, you think it's French?
Yeah. Imbatível. It's either French, it could be Portuguese.
I think it might be Portuguese.
Oh, are you saving up points, Sam? How many are you at? I wish I could like click on someone and see how many Krigo bucks they had. That'd be fun.
Can we donate?
What do you mean?
Like, give my points to somebody else?
Match found.
Oh, no. I don't think you can donate Krigo bucks. That'd be fun though.
That'll be dope, yeah. Oh, I fucking hate
I'm playing. I don't know how I want to play. I don't want to play Brim.
this game needs more maps.
It really does.
Literally, the op and lack of maps is the only downfall. The only downfall to this game.
I'll play Scylla.
White Hanzo.
White Hanzo, baby. I really appreciate the Sage nerf. I feel like the Sage. You're a little over 29. Oh shit. Oh.
Sage is fair now.
Yeah, she's fair.
What's her name? Killjoy is kind of.
Killjoy is still a little silly, but I think she's definitely more fair.
I think this patch is good.
Yeah, this is a fine comp. I'm not that worried about it.
Nerf op, either nerf op or nerf jet, and new maps. That's it. Then the game will be as good as.
I feel like the op isn't the problem. I feel like it's just the sight lines. There's just like so many sites that just have like clear op sight lines that you can hold down.
That too. It's just I hate it when like there's a jet, right?
Mhm.
She whiffs. I hit her like once or twice. She's not dead. Even like I headshot, let's say with like a pistol or whatever, like if we're saving, and then she just dashes out. Like,
Yeah, it's kind of silly. It's kind of messed up that she's the only character that has movement.
Yeah.
I need a drop.
'Cause even what's it called? Even tens, is like if they would put like a sound, like a scope sound to the up, I think it'll be good.
To know like when someone's scoping in.
Yeah. So you're like, oh, let me not peek because I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Cause like you know like there's the upper like let's say C, but just you don't know where. You know,
Yeah.
somebody's upping.
Yeah, I think there's a scope sign in CSGO, so I feel like that'd be fair.
Yeah. Also, I'll tell you after this one.
Oh shit, I'm rotating.
Shock dart spotted. Right here.
There's one here.
They're still pushing it.
Yeah, Omen's lit 117, at least too short.
Rotate.
That was not
I'm
impressive.
holding it.
Uh, 40 on Omen. 40 on Omen. Yeah. He's behind the
He's
box.
one. Yep.
Hey, I think they excited for that.
Yeah. What's it called? Oh yeah, there's this guy that made a Reddit post saying that he's put, I think he said like over like 2,000 hours on CS:GO,
Okay.
and he's in Mortal 3, and he says there's something within the game that the devs don't tell you,
Uh-huh.
where like it might be like packet loss, but like they don't like announce it on the top right. It might be like latency or whatever, but there's something that keeps you from playing like you normally do, like from game to game. Like there's not enough consistency in the game.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
I don't hear anything outside.
Right here.
Smoke off, smoke off.
Gotcha. You wanna rotate with me?
Revealing
Yeah.
area.
There's at least one by A.
have spot. On spot.
He's in here. He's in here.
You peek.
One enemy remaining.
Nice.
Lit 59. By window. Nice triple A.
Thank you.
She's by window. Oh, nice. I should have got that kill. That was bad stuff. It's alright. That's why we de-resting. That's why we de-resting.
Keep them there.
Facts. You want the gun?
Oh, so you're Spectre?
Leave it, Matt. So you're not a. So
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
not a-
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Here.
Gun here.
Yeah. Sam, you fuck with White Hanzo? I guess I like his undercut. I like that his eyes are so blue. They're like unnaturally blue.
Nice. There's another one.
Revealing area. Take flight.
Nice.
Shot dart.
There's one in. There's one in the.
Shot dart.
I'll rotate away. Crash is nice. Crash is left one.
Under barrage.
One enemy.
She's outside A, lit 26 with Ares.
I think we.
Last seen lobby. Oh, Phoenix is hyped. Phoenix is definitely cute. This is a super weird buy. I got a Ghost, Guardian, and Ares. They should have just saved.
30 seconds left.
Hey,
I'm the worst player on the planet. I'm so bad, dude.
now you get them.
That's alright. It's unrated. Oh, you gotta rush that, brother.
Careful now.
Last player
Oh
standing.
fuck!
10 seconds left.
3 bullets.
I hit her 43. You hit her for how much?
26.
Reload.
Oh shit, I didn't even.
I said.
She's low.
Oh, this guy got real.
Left side.
I said 3 bullets, bro. In boxes. Dog!
Not like this, dude.
Fuck.
That's all. That's fine. That's my
Watch
fault.
them run when linked by us.
I'm annoyed.
That's when we strike.
They traded with me on A.
Where were you?
Was garage.
That was ridiculous. She only killed me because I was lit, and after that she should have got no kills. Wait, the breach didn't go A either? Okay, I guess I'm going A still.
Can somebody.
Oh yeah, I got long.
You got long?
Yeah.
I'm gonna stand right here and I'm gonna ult.
Yeah.
Not instantly, but. They're outside of A.
Revealing area. Come on, let's go.
Their window.
Where nobody's out there.
I headshot at both the Sage and the Omen. They're short.
Shot dart. Deploying drone.
They're going A main.
They're going now.
A main.
Shit, what the fuck? They're in garage. Sobo was garage.
No way she hit that.
I suck. I should have took my knife out.
Sage hit for
There's
Sage,
2 on A.
Omen 104, and Raze hit for
Last
45.
player standing.
Fuck, dude. There's no way she hit that, bro.
Spike planted.
Bro, that spec was playing like an hour ago. I get voice lines so late. Like I got fucked up. Adrian, you watching the game?
Yeah,
I'm saving.
yeah, we stayed there. Bro, I literally cannot believe Rocky said that, bro.
That's actually such a hard cap. Why is this guy buying
I
up on
was like,
save
bro,
round?
I'm like, bro, I know you're not. I'm like, I know you're lying to me right now, dude.
Yeah.
He's like, no. I'm like, dude, you literally press square, like, for everything. There's
It's like it's such a button masher.
yeah.
It could have been so good, but it said it's like that. Oh, this guy's nuts though.
Revealing area.
They're race I hit her for 4 times. She's outside of grass.
Shot down.
This guy's nuts.
Let me get my ace, boys.
They're still outside here.
Enemy spotted.
Revealing
Fuck.
area.
By the
Oh, garage is open, garage is open.
yeah. Yeah, but they're both left. Race it for 81, the other one for 60. Oh, that's one of them here. I wouldn't push the op, bro.
Is there op at C?
No, we have a not, but she's
Oh.
pushing.
They're planning on C.
They're both on site at C.
Bro, where are you running to?
That's easy, easy money.
One enemy remaining.
Long?
You. Whatever. At least he got the kill.
How did both of you not die?
I don't know. He literally walked right in front of me. He's lucky he got that kill.
Yeah. What are you doing?
I didn't want to have to use my ult, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
You will expect them to work.
Did she save the op?
They both already had ops.
Yeah. Yeah, they were running from like she was running with the op from A. I'm like, there's somebody there. I got proven wrong, dude. The op is apparently good on retake.
We just got lucky.
On quick play.
Yeah, fuck.
Is it augers?
I was gonna try and sneak on site, but the breach was just running around.
Facts. Nice. One more outside of garage.
Revealing area.
So both.
There's 2 outside lobby. They're pushing A.
I'm rotating out garage.
You will not kill my allies.
I'm gonna hold garage.
Okay.
Shot down.
They're running back. They're running back.
Revealing area.
I hear them around here.
Sage is A short. Spike down. They're both outside A sewers.
All of them A.
Why did no one come to A with me?
I'm coming.
Oh, he didn't rotate?
No, nobody rotated.
I went long 'cause he-
30 seconds left.
Nice.
One enemy
Nice. Get up.
Ah, he stunned me. Oh, I was gonna return the favor. Yo, this skin is dope. What the
Need a
fuck?
drop.
You want it?
Yeah.
Here for content.
I mean, I have a cool Vandal skin too, so.
Can I get a buy? Thank you.
That's very cool that everyone just left me alone at A to watch long and short.
I got you, bro. I left you alone because I believe in you.
Revealing area.
Thank you.
There's still a set garage. He dashed in garage. Oh, there's 3 outside garage. I hit Omen 60, Raise 40, and the stage had infiltrate. Nice. They're
They're
on,
on site.
Oh, bottom right of window.
They're in TP.
Yeah. Just might be. He might still be there.
Spike planted.
Come on, Craigo. She's pushing. She's pushing.
One enemy. Last player standing.
Backside. Nice work. That was a bad arrow.
Ooh, okay. That's dope. Hey, should I do it to him, dude? Oh wait, there's already 2 hours. Oh. Nice.
Revealing area.
Outside of garage.
Sage lit.
She's like right here.
Enemy
Oh,
remaining.
he's outside.
Window. He was not window. But he was close to window. Which is
Come here, bro. Hold on. Did you just fucking flash me? You wanna op? Ew.
yeah, I'm not gonna play any rated games today, dude. My shit's mad laggy
Uh,
for no reason.
I'm gonna do the worst play of all time and I'm gonna ult into garage. Wish me luck. Where's Sparta, motherfucker?
Lobby.
Revealing area.
I got one.
Shot down, shot down.
They're outside of A.
You should have free kills here, Adrian.
Remaining.
Nice. They were super focused on Reyna.
That's so funny.
Gun here.
Wow.
Yeah, you've gotten 2 like free flank clears.
What's that?
You've gotten 2 free flank clears. That one from
yeah.
long and then that one.
Yeah. They're
They,
not watching.
they don't watch shit, dude.
I know they're mad, dude. They're definitely gonna come get my ass in garage, bro.
Revealing area.
They smoke long. They smoke.
Okay, I'm gonna throw fire.
Who run? Take flight.
They're on site.
Archer's in window.
She's low.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, I know they're so mad, bro. Oh, fuck, dude,
It
they're
is
so
done.
mad.
Revealing area. Enemies
I know
close.
they're so mad, dude.
I donked on that guy, bro. He thought he could rush me.
Yo, Phoenix, let me buy for you.
Bet. Thank you. They're gonna come get my ass again, bro. They're so mad.
I don't know why I'm still lagging. I have Ethernet now. I'm supposed to be good at games.
Protect my body, bro. I'm going in.
Deep
Yeah, they're on stage.
But they're spamming down A long or C long.
shot down.
Mande?
Revealing area.
On Diego de Bruno.
Shock dart.
It might still be too long. There's one person on the floor.
Ah, she's 1 HP. She's bottom left of B. Wait, Soba, you passed them.
One enemy remaining.
Dang, he hit that. This guy's nutty.
Take my Vandal. No, he took it. No, he dropped.
Last
Yeah.
round before the switch.
Dude, I know scope that, dude. I'm waiting to give it up, bro.
This guy should have allowed.
Hey, just get it now.
Tell him, bro.
Hey, do it for the memes, bro.
Nah.
Bro, do it for the memes.
I'm gonna get more kills with no Oppington.
Don't forget to buy armor.
I got it.
Tell him cohesive.
Oh, Cohesive is not having a good day.
Shit, Omen long.
Revealing
See long. They smoked me off.
I threw fire, Ah, there's one garage.
I think they're trying to push.
shock dart.
No, dude.
Revealing area.
Nice.
Oh, what? They're rotating. They're gonna be on B. They were by garage.
Outside.
Killjoy, try to use your ulti.
They've been rotated, bro.
Ah,
They've been. They've been on B, bro. Oh my god.
Last player standing.
Fog.
30 seconds left.
push you both.
Switching sides.
Definitely not playing another one. This is like so unfun. I think honestly my computer's just like having a hard time. I don't think it's my internet even. I hate how intensive stuff is. Like I have this shit turned on like low.
The game,
I
yeah.
would plan, but I
I
think it's set up.
What? You're hella low, bro. What'd you say?
Yeah, I plant, but I want to set up my traps.
Oh, okay, for sure. Yeah, don't trip. Oh, right here.
Revealing area.
It's very cool that everyone stopped watching short.
Someone in tunnels.
There's at least two here.
Gotta go.
You guys can rotate.
Yeah,
They
rotate.
would
Get out.
be careful.
Holy shit. Nice shots.
Just one more. Yeah, I killed 3. No. When did it just go B? No.
One enemy remaining.
She's I think she might
Yep,
be having.
turret, Killjoy, Killjoy, set up.
Oh, nice,
Player
dude.
standing.
He's right there on the left.
Nice. That's so funny when people die to that.
You know what I've noticed?
What have you noticed?
I've gotten worse with the big guns, like when it comes to aiming, but I got better with pistols,
It's funny.
and I don't like it because it should be the other way around. I don't want this shit. Well, we know there's 2 that play here.
Revealing area.
Got it.
What? I just got kicked out of the game.
What happened? Watch our line.
Connection error, relaunch the client. Very cool, thank you. Very cool, thank you, Valorant.
my body! Protect my body! Push him. Nice.
Any Valoranters? What's up, Aaron?
Oh. Okay. I need you to come back.
I'm coming. I feel like video games have become like so inaccessible to me recently.
I gave you a gun, by the way.
Oh, sweet. I guess that means I need to upgrade.
I left the thing off spawn.
Sweet.
I gave you a Spectre and a Sheriff.
Sweet.
Fuck.
Up top, up top. Unboxes, unboxes. No, let's wait for just smoke to go.
Watching top of box.
Running like crazy FPS.
Oh, Jet's there.
You can push A. Phoenix, you have spike. A, I love you.
Careful, Jet. She was long. She might be flanking.
This guy's sprinting, bro.
Oh, she's 1 HP. Oh. Well, she's on B. She's gonna heal.
Oh, why do I have spike?
I gave it to you.
There's two watching heaven right now.
You guys are watching the same angle.
Wait, I got drones on C long.
Oh, she's 1 HP. Oh, I did. But Sage is coming from A or from long. What?
Someone watch heaven. No, keep watching heaven. Keep watching heaven. Someone
Breach you watch. Breach you watch.
Breaches.
I gave it to you. Just plant.
It's already planted, bro.
Which my gun, like, you guys are watching the same angle.
No,
But
I
Sage
have
is coming.
drones. Or
Oh, okay. From A. Or the from long.
Last
Oh, okay,
player
okay.
standing.
Nice.
That's not hitting.
Nice. Wait. Ah.
She got it.
Thrifty.
I don't know why Reyna didn't go hell. She was really confident in that Deeg shot.
I think we push B just because there's only one planet. I think we push B just because there's only one planet. I'm gonna play C, Jet, stage play. She's right here. 1 HP.
flash.
Placing sentry.
I don't know why I planted there. I should have just planted behind. She was window. Sweet, go team.
Go ahead. Block on me.
One enemy remaining.
Teleport in.
4 bullets. Nice shot.
Wait, can I get that Vandal? I'll buy you. I'll buy you any.
Damn, this guy. Carry want that Vandal. God damn. My boy really want that Vandal, bro. Raise always peaks.
Revealing area.
Peek it.
long, Sage long. Holy shit. 2 flank. Okay.
One enemy remaining.
You really try to shorty me, bro.
What? Oh, we planted or no?
Ouch. He's pussy for 60.
Shock dart.
Get his ass. No. He's up.
I hit him 80.
Woo! Go team! That was not enjoyable because my computer sucks for some reason.
I almost got a 30 bomber, bro.
Damn.
Are you here? Hello?
Put up fatty numbers. What's up? What's up? Ah, mic broke. Sweet. Sweet. Mic broke.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I'm hopping off. That was not fun for me.
it was I almost.
Oops. Bye everybody. Thanks for coming to TED Talk Thursday.